What's going on, hustlers? Back at you guys with another video. So if you notice, there's a little bit of change in the wall decor behind me. And today's video is actually going to be about the 5 biggest myths in GovCon, government contracting. So we're going to be breaking down the 5 biggest lies or the 5 biggest misconceptions that I hear going around. So thank you guys so much for 1K. Packaging videos coming soon. I just got to sort out those 2 FAA check rides. Once I take those this month, then I'll head down to the warehouse to go get those done because I'm working out of my apartment. The office is in Fort Lauderdale. But let's talk about the wall decor. So I figured you guys can see some of my hard work in fruition, right? If you're going to be getting your information, you want to be getting your information from a reliable source, somebody that's, been in the space, right? But just because I'm proficient in government contracting, I could suck in other aspects of my life, and that's not good. You don't want a teacher who's deficient in other areas. So these are my medals from the last 4 races that I've run. I've been running for the past 8 months. I've put over 350 miles on my body. I did a couch to marathon, full marathon in under 90 days. So that's this medal right here. And then I did a 5K in under 20 minutes. So that was about a 6-minute and 23-second mile. So that was like a nice little speedy time trial. And then these 2 right here are the 2 official half marathons that I've run. So every single race that I've run, I've PR'd. This one I actually ran about, or I ran it yesterday actually, because today's Monday. So I ran that yesterday with my mom. And then this one I ran in January. So just so you guys can see, I'm disciplined. I'm willing to pay the price of success. I'm putting those miles on my body. I'm willing to suffer. I'm willing to endure and kind of just gut out the feelings of uncomfortableness. In life, everything is painful. Everything is hard, right? So you either deal with the pain of regret or you deal with the pain of discipline. And I choose the latter every single time. So those are the medals that we have now. Keep an eye out as, this wall gets more filled. I got something coming up in Ocala, and then I'm sure I'll probably do like a little 5 or 10K, just something chill. And then the big one this year is Budapest. That's the big fish, the big one. And then I'm going to head to Australia to run an ultra marathon. I haven't decided if I'm going to do a 100-kilometer race, which is about 62 miles, or I'm just going to go for it and do a 100-mile race. So stay tuned for that. But without further ado, let's get into the video. So 5 biggest myths about government contracting. Number 1. You need certifications to start. So people say that, oh, you need certs to start. One of the biggest things that I hear when I'm doing consultations is people's like, oh, I'm a woman-owned business. Do I need my woman-owned cert to start? Or, oh, I'm a veteran. Can I start without my SDVOSB? Or, oh, do I need my tax-exempt form, et cetera, et cetera. Yes, these things help you. Yes, these things contribute to your success as a government contracting company. However, they are not required to start. I know plenty of companies that have gotten to 6 figures without having any certs at all. And then the cool thing about it is when you register in SAM, you literally just state what your revenue is and then how many employees you have, and then it automatically categorizes as whether you're a small business or not. So you really don't need your certs to start. Yes, they help, but they're not required. Another fun fact. So just because you see something that has the SDVOSB icon or the woman-owned small business icon in DIBS, that does not mean that you cannot bid on it if you are not like under the umbrella of that certification. You can still bid on those and you can still win those contracts. And sometimes you might bid on it. A contracting officer will reach out to you and say, hey, listen, I know you're not, under the demographic of this cert, so we're going to actually go ahead and reissue this, and then you can bid on it again. I've won quite a few like that where I bid on something and we were not an SDVOSB, and then they shoot me an email and they're like, hey, we're going to republish this kind of thing. So myth number 1, you do not need certs to start. So let's get that out of the way. Myth number 2, that you need to have your products up front. You need to physically possess the material. That is completely false. I'm not saying that you can't sell without having your products, but we do not hold inventory. I don't teach people to hold inventory. Only purchase things that you know are going to make you money. And what I mean by that is only buy stuff once DLA has issued the contract for it, right? It is essentially, you're doing like a pre-sale almost, if you will. Like you're telling the government, hey, I can get this for you. It's going to be this much. And then you're pricing it. You're saying, okay, you're internally notating, hey, this is what our margin is going to be. In the event that we win this, then we'll buy it. And then you tell the government, hey, this is how many days it's going to take to ship to you, et cetera, et cetera. You do not need to have products up front. You do not need a warehouse. You do not need to be storing inventory. I get that question a lot, that people are like, oh, I don't have a warehouse. Oh, I don't have, I want to bid on, $10,000 contracts, but I don't have $10,000 worth of product right now. And then I tell people, I'm like, hey, listen, bid on the contract. If you win it, figure it out. Open credit cards, get lines of credit, go to a loan, use factoring companies, which I don't usually advise, but I mean, if you're staring down the barrel, right, and you've got 10 calendar days from the time it's awarded to cancel it, and you're like, I do not want to cancel this, you might have to use a factoring company, or you might have to borrow money and get a really shitty interest rate. But I mean, you can get it done. It's better to make less money because you have a higher interest rate and your margin dwindles, but still get the past performance, still make some money, than to forego that idea in its entirety and then make $0. Another thing that I would, tell people is only bid on stuff, that, you reasonably can fulfill in terms of like the logistics of something. So bid on something if you're a single woman living in an apartment and it's 300 pounds, right? Don't do that. However, you guys can also do the net 30 method, which I've talked about. You're not playing with invisible money when you do that, when you use that methodology, because you're still on the hook for it. It still is real money. However, you can get the vendor to float the material to you for 30 days, net 30. So, excuse me, it's been a long day. Lots of running, lots of working. You can get the vendor to float it to you for 30 days, and then you tell DLA, hey, I'll give you a discount, 2%, etc. if you pay me in 20 days. DLA pays you in 20 days, then you send that money to your vendor, and then you just keep what's left over, which is your profit margin. So that's the net 30 method. The second myth to be busted is that you do not need your product up front. Number 3, oftentimes people are like, oh, I have a home office, so I just use a virtual address because I thought you couldn't do that. Wrong. You do not need a physical office space. You can use a home address. You can use like your garage, you can use your kitchen, you can use, whatever. As long as it's a brick and mortar address and not a virtual address, that works. And I would probably say like 2/3 of the companies that we work with are home-based companies. So you entirely are able to use a home-based address. Myth number 4, which I don't see other people talking about this. I don't know if other people even know how to do this, but myth number 4 is you can only provide material from the approved source. This is not true. You can provide DLA with alternates all the time. You can provide them with stuff that's not from the US, as long as you notate the country of origin. You can give them stuff that's been superseded. You can give them stuff from a subsidiary of the approved source company. You can give them stuff from the competitor of the approved source company. There are options. There are different ways to submit those things. So submitting something as an alternate bid is entirely possible. And if you look on Dibs as you're submitting, there's a whole bunch of different options. You can do part number superseded. You can do alternate company. You can do you can say that the company was acquired by another company. So there's a whole bunch of different ways that you can get around providing approved source material. Now, that is not to say that, the approved source is going to be valued the same as the alternate. That is not the case. However, if it's something that nobody else can get and it's been open for a while, sometimes the approved source is a viable option. We've provided stuff that has been approved source material. I have a company right now that I work with, and the entirety of what he does is providing material that is alternate of the approved source for those NSNs. So you can provide something if, let's say, it's Caterpillar as the approved source, but then it just so happened John Deere also makes the part. You can provide John Deere. The only caveat is the alternate that you're providing, the company does have to have a cage code and be registered with the government. Myth number 5, you need a lot of money to start. So this is entirely untrue. We talk about in our educational plan, we literally teach people how to get started for $500 or less. And the majority of that $500 goes towards buying a printer and the softwares that we recommend. We talk about how to set up your infrastructure for free, entirely with free softwares. I've worked with clients who their first contract has been $119,000, and then I worked with a client whose first contract was $20.74. So there's a wide range of options in terms of, the ticket sizes of your contract. So you do not need a lot of money to start. So just to kind of recap, the 5 myths, the 5 things that are untrue about government contracting. You need certs to start. Untrue. You can get started without your certs. Number 2, you need products. Not true. You can bid on stuff without having the products. All you need is a quote for the pricing and the availability. Myth number 3, you cannot use a home office. This is completely untrue. You can work out of your home and build a 6-figure business out of your home. Number 4, you can only provide approved source material. This is untrue. You can provide alternates and different options, different kinds of material. And number 4, you need a lot of money to start. Again, this is completely untrue. You can get started for as little as $500. So thank you guys so much for sticking with me until the end of the video. Please make sure to like, comment, subscribe. If you have any questions, please DM me on Instagram. You must be following for a response. And let's get to 5K. 5,000 subscribers is our next goal. And then I will make a video tutorial on how to submit a bid in Dibs. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. And not only am I hoping for your success, but I am sure of it. Thank you guys for tuning in, hustlers.